My name's Pep Favidi. Welcome to a new episode of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. In the last episode, we beat the last levels, the last three, the only ones in Secret Seclusion. This episode, this is the bonus video, of course. And as you can see, I have been doing my business over here for stuff. But this episode's not about that. This episode is about the extras. So yeah, we're gonna be checking out the figurines and the images and the dioramas, and I'll just tell you about the music in a little bit. But okay, let's start off with the figurines. First off, we got the Kong family, and of course we got Donkey Kong over here. You can rotate, zoom, and then you can change item. First off is Donkey Kong, and then we got Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong over here with his pose of the bananas, well, not the bananas, but with the Nintendo cap, throwing it up in the air because he's happy. We didn't really use Diddy Kong for the vast majority of this Let's Play. Then we got Dixie Kong, who made a comeback from Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. And then we got Cranky Kong, for the first time playable in a main Donkey Kong Country game, or well, in the main Donkey Kong game. Then we got Funky King, this time around getting himself in charge of the shop instead of Cranky Kong, and hopefully he will be playable, or he will return to Airport Airlines, whatever the heck, soon. Then we got Randy the Rhinoceros. Even though he's not a member of the Kong family, he is an animal buddy, and this is the only animal buddy in any of the two Donkey Kong Country return games. So Country Returns 1 and Tropical Freeze only have Rambi, the Rhinoceros. Then we got the minecart, which is not even a living being at all, but we got a minecart, so that's what counts, right? Then we got the rocket barrel, again not a living being, but we got a rocket barrel and we get to see the design of it, pretty detailed, and it's actually a pretty cool thing, just to have this type of technology existing for the Kongs. And then we got Professor Chops. Some people will call him Checkpoint, some people call them the Checkpoint Pig. Some people call him Piggy. I don't know, I just don't call him anything. So those are from the Kong family. Then we got the bosses. For the bosses, of course, remember that these are spoilers if you have not finished the game. This is Pompey the Presumptuous, the seal that we fought with the fish at the very beginning in the first world. That was pretty easy. Then we got Scowl the Startling. Scowl actually was a bit tricky the first time I played the game, but it wasn't as bad the time we played through in the Let's Play. Then we got Baboom the Boisterous. This is gonna be hard as heck when we go through to it in the stream. Trust me, it will be. But there we go, Baboom the Boisterous, 3 of them. Then we got Fugu the Frightening, and even though he's frightening, we actually scared him when we met him. Remember the cutscene? Yeah, that was good times. Then we got Bashmaster the Unbreakable, and Bashmaster got pissed at us just because we made him lose his lollipop. Well, no, it wasn't a lollipop, it was ice cream. There you go. Friggin' silly polar bear, you can always get more. And then we got Lord Frederick, this Nomad King. Frederick was a challenge. It took me 40 minutes to beat the first time I played the game, but there you go. Those were the bosses, and now we start with the Snowmans. Of course, we got the regular Tux, we got the Speedy Tux, the difference is in the pants, I guess. Then we got Tough Tux, which don't have pants and have a helmet. And then we got Pointy Tux, which again, no pants, and they have a spiky helmet. Then we got the Trench Tux, which actually has a shield and the helmet. Then we got Archie. This is one of the few that I actually memorized the name of, but Archie is an archer. Then we got Boombird, which is the one that carries around the bomb. It actually looks like Rico from the Penguins of Madagascar. And then we got Penguin Tux. A penguin has pants, but he has a stick with no fins on the back part, with no bones on the back part of its stick. Then we got Papa Penguin, which actually has all his areas covered. And then we got a Sori, penguins that fly. There we go, that's the first Nomads. Then we got Snowmads 2, we got, we got the Fluff, which is a regular rabbit. Then we got a Tough Fluff, which is a rabbit with a helmet. Then we got Harry. Of course, these are puns and names. Then we got Harold, which is not a pun, just a name, which is the bunny. Lemington, I actually don't know what Lemington is. It looks like a... I forgot the name in English. Anyway, yeah, it's just what Timon from Timon and Pumbaa is. I don't know. Then we got the regular Hoots, and then we got Hot Hoots, or Fire Hoots as I've been calling them. And then we got a Puffton, which is the big Hoots. And then we got a Tufton, of course, puns. By the way, the effect on this looks really, really cool. And then we got a Blue Hoots. Yay, blue. And that's it for Snowmans 2, and the third Snowmans are just big guys, excuse me. Waldo, of course, big regular walrus guy. Then we got Walnut, which is a Waldo with a thing over there, a helmet. Then we got Waldrick, who you can only damage from the back. And then we come the Chum Chucker Charlie. Of course, we saw him a couple times, chucking chum at us. Then we got the Fish Poker Pops, which is actually annoying and pretty ridiculous because he has friggin' everything covered until he tries to attack you. And then we got the Big Sven, which is one of the last ones that we actually met, and this one fires fish out of his horn. So there you go, Snowmans. We got all the figurines. Then we got images. Images for the Lost Mangroves. We got this. Apparently, originally, you would have had Donkey Kong Island completely blown away, and the entirety of the Kong house being blown away with the Kongs too, originally. And this would be one of the first scenarios that you would have visited, which is just a little bit of a swamp with a lot of shipwrecks going on, kind of like a beach. There's some artwork for it and some annotations, kind of screenplay. And then you got the basic first concept for the Lost Mangroves over there. In the end, only the airplane was the one that prevailed on the design. There's not much of a shipyard over there, but there is Samus's ship. And of course, just some more ideas for levels and whatnot. And this one was actually beautiful. The execution for this one was just beautiful. So there you go. That's the artwork for the Lost Mangroves. Then you got Autumn Heights, which is just pretty cool, in my opinion. Autumn Heights, you got every single little detail. You got some autumny things, of course, looking. There's a lot of modern houses. Actually, the signs I think they used for the beehives and whatnot. There's birdhouses and there's cuckoo clocks. The minecart level. There was supposed to be a minecart level that actually brought you from right to left, apparently. But and the minecart was not supposed to change into a waterlog at some point. Then you got this basic drawing of beavers in a water wheel. And then you got the basic concept for Autumn Heights, which pretty much stayed the same. Then you got Donkey Kong Jr. No, it's not Donkey Kong Jr., it's just basic art for some other things, concept art for some of the levels. The cheese one was actually pretty fun. Then we got the Right Savannah, and of course this was supposed to look a lot more like Africa at the very beginning, and of course there were supposed to be a lot more crocodiles, but in the end they turned into abominations. Of course, having Rambi here, these pictures just look beautiful in my opinion. They're supposed to be one of these silhouette levels, and I would have loved it if there was, but unfortunately there wasn't. And then you got just more concept art for treetops and whatnot. And this is just taking an idea from Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. By having all these little teensy tiny guys carry you on all the way to the bottom. Having all these tucks going around, these would have been really complicated levels, really hard ones at that. These ideas look really cool. And finally, we just got the regular artwork for the Savannah, which is actually pretty cool, just in the area with the cliffs and whatnot. So that's that. Then we got Seabreeze Cove, and of course, going in with the water, this was not, of course, this was not possible in the first game, so of course they had to do a lot of work for all these water levels and whatnot. It's the longest world in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And then you got a lot of concept art for On God, and well, you can see Swordfish in the back, and you can see the Kongs climbing up. I don't think at this point they were supposed to be able to swim. I think they were just going to be regular levels with water backgrounds or whatever. And then stuff like this started to happen with beautiful silhouette level. And then of course underwater after take everything in. I think this is supposed to be concept work for the for an early stage of the one with the chests in which you grab keys to advance. And then you just got explanatory stuff. This is some of the things that actually made it in. And then you got this beautiful looking thing, just looking at caves with coral reefs and whatnot. This would have been a very, very beautiful place, even if it hadn't been the way that it turned out. It is a beautiful place anyways. Juicy Jungle though, this is, that picture of Donkey Kong it's really weird. But there you go, you got a lot of machinery, stuff to cultivate and to grab all the fruits. Because you're getting to, of course, you know that there's an industry. At the very beginning, you can see a pig pulling up the lever over there. It's kind of weird, kind of weird to think about the animals working like that in here, and they apparently are enslaved by these nomads in here. And of course, you would have had things like I don't know if this is reminiscent for you guys, but Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards with these little parts. It would have been kind of entertaining to see something like this turn out, actually. It would have been kind of like a Minecraft level in the end, but it would have been really interesting. And then you just got more concept for fruit and the pigs working, and this would have been the actual basic artwork for the Juicy Jungle. However, it was changed in the end to a less factorized place and just start up at a factory and then go more natural as you progress on, like this, kind of like this. And this was never implemented into this particular world. It would have been really interesting to see though where all the pigs come from and whatnot, but probably, or well, not probably, but hopefully if there is a Donkey Kong Country Returns 3, we can see something like this with more characters being implemented and given a backstory or something. Then we got Donkey Kong Island, and of course the concept for all the things that happened, and the snowman's coming in and out with all the shenanigans and whatnot. You got the big ship at the top of the volcano with everything being frozen and whatnot. It's just amazing how much work went into this. The towers. Yeah, Cook Pot minecart. At the very beginning, there was supposed to be a lot of ideas for minecarts and whatnot, and you can see that, and it's really amazing. It's a shame that they didn't come to fruition apart from the gigantic snowball that we see later on. But these are really cool concepts and really cool level designs, I'd say. Snowmakers, I would not even think about how these would work, and then you got artwork for the freaking gigantic dragons of doom and death. That appeared on the very last boss fight and that caused so much suffering for everyone, or at least for me. And then you got the basic artwork for Donkey Kong Islands, the basic layout from the first game with, instead of the open volcano or Ticketung at the volcano, it's just the snowman's ship, Frederick's ship. And then you got Sven, Olaf, and Krob and Lars, just basic designs for the actual guys that made it. They made it into the game, but with some alterations and whatnot. These are basically how they started. And of course, you would have had bonus rooms. It would have been really fun, actually, to have bonus rooms like this. I don't know if this would have been like Swanky Kong's activities in Donkey Kong Country 3. But this would have been really cool to have as bonus stages, or just as an extra thing that you can go to, because that's something very different from the original games. You don't have anything else apart from the shop that you can go to. There's no Cranky Kong's tips, nor Swanky Kong, or anything of the sort, nor Clubba. So that's something that's kind of missing here. And then you got the Hidden Kong Temple for clearing out all of the Kong temples. We got basic artwork for the enemies, basic artwork for other enemies, for bees, and there was supposed to be a skunk enemy. At the end, it was dropped. Their goat, I think it was replaced by the bull, and of course the bees were made into gigantic versions of themselves. And no, the bull is right over there, so it wasn't replaced, it was just dropped. That guy over there is very reminiscent of the boss. Those actually made it into the game, the birds, but they're really reminiscent of the boss later on. Sorry about that. Then we got a little hedgehog over there. All of these enemies kind of made it into the end, except for the little cheetah guy over there. Kind of looks like a rat for some reason. And the hippopotamus from the first game didn't make it into this one, but it looks like they had a really detailed design for this one. You also have eels and enemies, gigantic eels, and some other types of enemies for water levels that actually didn't make it in. The only one that made it in was the eel, the second enemy from the right on the bottom row. It's the actual only one that I know that actually made it in, and that I remember making it in. So that's actually a really cool thing. There's so many enemies were planned out. There's even wasps planned out, and all of these enemies made it in for the 5th world. And lastly, the snowmans, of course. Pretty much all of these ones came in, except for the one Hoots with the spiked helmet, because that would have been pretty hilariously tough to get by. Only Cranky Kong would have been able to get by that. The rest of the enemies actually made it into the game, so there you go. And lastly, for clearing hard mode with everything, you get... At the very beginning, you only get these 3, and by clearing hard mode, you get all of these ones. So let's see them. You get these, which is the basic concepts for Secret Seclusion, but it was supposed to go through day, be foggy, be nighttime. The nighttime one with the Aurora Borealis looks really beautiful, and I would have loved to see that. Then you got a secret moon world apparently, and trophy level node. Well, I don't know what trophy level node would be, but it looks amazing, and it looks really interesting. I'd like to see how that would have played out. And then you got the basic artwork and whatnot, just the playing out of the stages and the layouts. You got Funky Splites, which is actually now just a shop. And it's a little notch to the series' past, because of course Funky Splites have been gone from ever since Donkey Kong Country 2. Well, no, actually from Donkey Kong Country 1. No, actually from Donkey Kong Country 2. And then you got artwork for the weapons, of course. This is Dixie Kong's. She was supposed to have a gun, a little bit more of a realistic gun compared to Diddy Kong's, but then they went in the direction, of course, they wanted to keep the E rating and whatnot, so they just gave her a bubblegum gun. Then you got some other concept art for spirits. Spirits would have been pretty interesting, and see how they played out, different enemies and whatnot. Would have been really cool to see that, how it planned out, but it was dropped out in the end. Then you got different levels, of course, with things that Donkey Kong would have grabbed and gone up and down with. This looks like a poisonous swamp of some sort, like where witches live or whatnot. It looks actually pretty interesting. And then you got a different idea for bosses, and for poisons, and witches, and people doing things. That was a worm. And then you got a different idea for the 5th boss fight, which was actually pretty much like this, except for the fact it was an actual chunk of ice, and it was not orange juice, it was grape juice, and I don't know if he stood like that. I think he did. And then just concept for the first boss fight, which is actually just stayed the same pretty much, except because the penguins, the Toxepticides, instead of holding lifesavers, they have screens. So that's it. All the images and now dioramas. There's only 6 dioramas in this game, 1 per world, and as you can see, you got the Kongs over here, and you got details on the back. These are always very detailed, very interesting to look at, and whatnot. So there's the first one. This is for the first world. You can see a guy over there, Waldo. Then you got a second one. You got Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong coming over here, escaping from the rats. You got some more guys. There's Sories and there's Hoots over there. There's Piggy Pigs. Call them Piggy Pigs. And this one's pretty straightforward. You got Donkey Kong and Rambi here. You got a Waldo. You got Tux and a tough Tux over here, supposedly tough. These are just interesting to look at, and please, thank you. You got Donkey Kong here playing 3DS. Then you got eels, and you got a lot of these things. Fish everywhere. Sharks, which are also fish. And then you got this over here, which is Diddy Kong, just fishing around. This is actually a pretty fun one, just leisurely hanging around. Then you got a lot of bees and that freaking carnivorous plant just coming around and trying to grab Donkey Kong out here. I don't think there's an animal buddy for this one, or a buddy at all. I think it's just Donkey Kong here. And then you got the Snowman's one, which is actually a pretty fun snow fight with these guys. And you can look at Diddy Kong over there at the top with however the hell he climbed up that, and Dixie Kong's just hurling the snowballs and whatnot. There's a tower from the concept. There's Tuxbury over there, and that's it. Those are all the dioramas. And for music, you actually get 4. You only get 4 of these. But if you want to listen to all of this, I'm just gonna leave the names here for a couple seconds in screen, so you can look for them. Because I don't really want to get in trouble with all the music and whatnot. So I'm just gonna show you all of these tiles so you can look for them, and you can listen to them. So there you go. And that's it. So, thank you guys so very much for watching this entire Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe to the channel if you really liked the video, and leave your suggestions for other Let's Plays, so that I know what you want to see. And I will see you guys next time for more Let's Plays, because this Let's Play is now over. Hopefully the streams will keep you hanging around for more longer, but that will be for much later. I will see you guys way later. There you go, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Bye guys.